Hello YouTube, I'm Natanis, and today I just wanted to talk a minute about an application that I just filled out, and not so much the application. Occasionally, I will come across an application that has a skills test as part of it, and you go through and you answer however many questions, and you just go through it, and I guess they grade it and see how you did based on their criteria and whatever. But the reason I wanted to talk about is I saw something new today, and I was like, that's actually kind of interesting. And I thought I would just share my thoughts on the actual problem. So this particular skills test was like 12 questions. And around like question 5, 6, or 7, like midway through it, I get a new thing that I'd never seen before. And effectively was just a string of letters and numbers that you had to match to other strings of letters and numbers to see which ones match. And the first one I saw and went through real quickly, there was no difference. Like every single one of them matched. And my guess is it was meant to throw you off the next time it came around, which was on question number 11. And this is why I wanted to bring it up, because it was actually kind of interesting looking at it. It was exactly the same all the way across, but here's what I want you to do. I want you to picture you got the single one up here at the top. Just this is the one that you're looking at to compare to the rest of them. Then you got, well, for you guys, position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So position 1, the string of letters and numbers was actually the exact same. However, as I got to looking at this, I realized that my mind just went completely blank. The font, there we go. The font was completely different. And I was like, now wait a minute, because this does look slightly different. And my thought process on this is, well, if the font is slightly different, you may get some kind of old person in there that's been getting the same thing for 50 years, and they're like, this font's not the same. This isn't what I usually get. And I can see that. You can also get somebody OCD who's like, this isn't the same font, this isn't correct, and stuff like that. So the first one, number 1 position, completely wrong. We're going to skip over a couple of them because it's there's 2 of them I wanted to talk about. Number 3, so 1, different fault. 2, we're going to skip for now. 3, this is the one that was actually the exact same. This is the only one that was the exact same. 4, we're going to skip over for a minute. And then 5 and 6, they were, again, different fonts. Wasn't exactly the same with the change in the font. So there was slight differences in how the letters looked. And I found this quite curious because the first time it did this, it didn't. The first question that was like this, it didn't do that. They were all exactly the same, all 6 of them. So what's up with the other 2? Why did I skip those? Well, those are the ones I want to talk about. First, we're going to talk about position number 4. So position 4, looking at it, if you just glance over, you would think, like all the others, they're the exact same. But then I realized that there was a Q in the middle of this string. And the Q on this one didn't look like a Q. It actually looked like an O with an accent under it. Or at least I think that's an accent. I'm not really familiar with that kind of stuff because we don't have that in the English language. And there was like what was supposed to be the mark coming off the Q. You put the little line through there, denotes it as a Q, as ridiculous as that is. On this one, it wasn't actually through there. It was below it like it was an accent. At least I think it was an accent. Most accents, I believe, are over the top of the letter, not on the bottom. But yeah, it had that. So I was sitting there looking at that. I was like, I'm not familiar enough with it, but that looks to me like that's a different language. That's potentially like Spanish or something with that one. And then the one that really caught my attention was the one in position 2, where it had kind of the same thing going on, only I instantly recognized that this was, in fact, a completely different language, meaning that this, even though it looks the same in that language, it's probably something completely different. And what it was is the O was actually much bigger, and the way that the line was written off of it, I clearly understood that this was Russian. So that was kind of interesting. I thought that was unique. It really caught me off guard too, because like I said, there was one before it at like question number 5, 6, or 7. I don't really remember exactly where it was, but all of those were exactly the same, no deviation, exactly the same. Then I get to this one in question number 11, and I'm just like, now wait a minute. As I got to looking, because I realized, first off, all the letters were correct, and then as I started investigating, because I was like, something doesn't look right, I realized that there was different fonts and even potentially 2 different languages. So yeah, I just thought I would share that real quick. I thought that was kind of an interesting little thing that I saw in that particular application, skills test, whatever you want to call that. But yeah, so I'm wondering, what kind of interesting things have you guys come across in recent days? Let me know down in the comments below, and as always, please hit that subscribe button. The channel could really appreciate more subs so that we can get growing and move on. I am still hoping by some miracle to hit 100 subs by the end of the year. So I would be much appreciated if you'd hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you later.